Okay. In the last session, we discussed about features of Linux, right? So from today, I'm starting the sessions. So before discussing about Linux, I'm showing history of Unix. So we are in Linux class. Why I'm showing history of Unix? Because Linux came from Unix source code. And as a freshers, if you're going for any interviews, in some interviews, they're asking who invented Linux, who invented Unix. This question also you're getting. So for that, I'm showing this slide. So please take a screenshot of this. As a fresher, if you are attending the classes, please take a screenshot of this. Try to maintain the notes. Screen is visible. Can anyone respond?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Flavors of Unix. Not only Linux, using Unix source code, these are the vendors who released their own operating systems. No one will ask you in interviews about this, but only for your idea, I'm showing this. So these are the vendors and these are the operating systems who are using Unix source code, and they release their own operating system. IBM using AIX server. Still, IBM using this server only internally. So Sun is using Solaris like that. Take a screenshot. And history of Linux. So in 1990, Linus Torvalds is the graduate student who invented Linux operating system. After that, he gave that operating system to OSF organization, that is Open Source Foundation organization. And this is the official logo for Linux. Penguin is the official logo for Linux. Take a screenshot. And these points are required for freshers only. As an experienced person, if you're going for any interviews, no one will ask you this. Only as fresher, if you're going, you'll get this kind of questions. So, Linux distributions, not only Red Hat, we have different distributors for Linux. So, these are the distributors of Linux. One moment. These are the distributors of Linux operating system. So one more is the Kali Linux. It is not in this list. One more is there, that is Kali Linux. Kali, Kali Linux. We also call it as Hackers Linux. In cybersecurity, they will use Kali Linux only. And these are the versions of Linux. So how we have versions in Windows, same like that, we have versions in Linux also. These are the versions of Linux. What is this free editions and commercial editions? Means starting the released, everything free edition. Means OS is free. From the year 2000 onwards, Red Hat started releasing commercial editions also. So these are the versions of commercial editions. So in commercial editions, what is the difference between free edition and commercial editions? Means in commercial editions, operating system is open, free only. In free edition and commercial edition, operating system is free. But in commercial editions, Red Hat will give technical support and they will charge for the technical support. In organization, they will configure commercial editions because here operating system is free only. But Red Hat team will give technical support. For that, most of the organizations will go for commercial editions, but they will charge for the commercial editions. But comparing to Microsoft, they will charge very less. Completed screenshot. So these are the features of Linux, what we discussed in yesterday's class. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this. Open source code we get along with the operating system, and we can modify the operating system as per our requirement. I'm just giving overview. For multitasking, it can do multiple tasks at a time. Multi-users can log in multiple users at a time, and they can perform at a time. Portability can be installed on all hardware environment, and it works with least hardware environment also. Next, scalability. Single operating system. The same operating system can be used on desktop computer to supercomputer. Operating system is same. There is no separate operating system like server and client. Operating system is same for all the PCs. Okay, and reliability because no downtime. 24/7 without restarting, it will work. And Linux is secure because inbuilt firewalls are there, means IP tables are there, and SC Linux is there. Inbuilt IP tables are used to secure networking files, and SC Linux is used to secure local files. Linux is secure. One more reason, because it works with command line interface. Without knowing the commands, others cannot access your computer. Linux is secure because it doesn't support exe files. Linux is secure for every user. Password authentication is compulsory. Linux is secure because we can encrypt a file by assigning password. Linux is secure because there is no setup files. Everything you will get as a configuration file. We can configure that configuration file also. Okay. So these are the reasons, few reasons why Linux is secure. And performance-wise, comparing to Windows, this is fast because Linux works with command line interface. Also, there is a concept of swap memory, which is used to increase the physical RAM speed. And Linux virus free from virus, because there is a kernel in Linux, so which is used to check the data before transferring to hardware environment. So these are the features of Linux, and whatever the features we discussed, the features I'll explain daily in the class. Okay, one by one, all the features I'll show you practically also. Hope you are clear. This is what we discussed in yesterday's class, features of Linux. And now, these are the hardware requirement, minimum requirement for Linux, hardware requirement. Processor, RAM, hard disk. CLI means command line interface. GUI means graphical user interface. Next, these are the recommended partitions of Linux. While installing the operating system, these are the recommended partitions in Linux. Okay, so what is this /boot /usr /var /home /web? This is I will explain later. Before this, I will explain file system hierarchy standard. File system architecture for Linux. First, I'll explain this. Then we'll go back and we'll discuss about minimum partitions. Recommended partitions. So this is the file system hierarchy of Linux. Okay, see, what does this mean? So for example, in Windows, if you install the operating system means A and B are reserved for floppy. Whether we are using or not, A and B are reserved for floppy, right? It starts creating the drive letters from C. If you install only C drive, after entering to the operating system, now assume you installed operating system. By default, it installs operating system in C drive in Windows, right? So after installing the operating system, if you enter into your operating system means and excuse me, if you open your C drive, there you can see default folders. In C drive, you can see default folders like documents, downloads, program files. You can see user files. You can see some default folders. Am I right? I'm repeating. Once you open C drive, after installing the operating system, if you open your C drive, you can see default folders in your C drive. Similarly, in Linux also, after installing the operating system, Linux operating system, / is a parent directory. These are the default directories in Linux. How we have default folders in Windows, same like that. We have default directory in Linux. So first is / directory means folder. In Windows we call folder, here we call directory. Only name is different. Purpose is same. What is the use of folder? Folders are used for storing content. It may be files or subfolders, right? Notepads, folders, we create under folder. Same like that here, directory. Directories are used to store content. Content means it may be files or subdirectories. Remember, don't forget, folder here. In Windows, we call folder. Here we call directory. That's it. Directory is nothing but folder. So the first directory in Linux is /. / is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. What it contains means it contains subdirectories. These are all the directories under /. Okay, and what is this / means? / is a parent directory and it is similar to C in Windows. / is similar to C in Windows. In C drive, we have subdirectories, right? By default, same like that in Linux under /, these are the subdirectories. So the first subdirectory under / is root. Root is the home directory for super user. Super user is nothing but administrator. In Windows, we call super user. Here we call administrator. Only name is different. So root is the home directory for super user. It means as a super user, you logged in into computer and you are creating any files or directories means by default, it stores the data under root. And next one is home. Home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into computer and you are creating any files or directories. By default, it stores the data under home. Here, one more point I want to tell you, that is, once a user is created in Linux, automatically it creates a directory also along with the user. With the same username, it will create a directory. Say for example, now if you create a user Jack, immediately it creates a directory with the same name Jack. Where it creates the Jack user means under home. It creates Jack user. So now Jack logged in and Jack is created any files or directories means the data is going to store under Jack's directory, which is under home directory. Now, again, you created a user Tom. Immediately it creates a directory called Tom, where it creates the directory under home. Now, Tom user logged in and Tom is creating any files or directories means the data is going to store in Tom's directory, which is under home. Same with all the users. Okay, I'm repeating. / is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It contains subdirectories and it is similar to C drive in Windows. So the first subdirectory under / is root. Root is the home directory for super user. Next, home. Home is the home directory for normal user. Next, boot. Boot contains bootable files. System bootable files are stored under boot. Also kernel. Kernel also stored under boot. Up to version 6, kernel is stored under root. What is shell? Shell is an interface between user and hardware. What is the function of shell? Shell converts user understanding language into mission understanding language. We discussed in the last session. And what is kernel? Kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. So what kernel will do? Before transferring the data, first kernel checks the data. If the data is supported by hardware environment, that data it transfers to hardware. So that kernel is stored under boot to RHL version 6. Has been contained super user commands. The commands which can be executed by super user means administrator. That commands are stored under sbin. Bin contains normal user commands. The commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under sbin. Okay. And USR, default applications. Applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. So for example, when you install Windows operating system, along with the operating system, you will get Windows Media Player, right? Similarly, in Linux also, after installing the operating system, some applications comes along with the operating system. That applications are stored under USR, where contains variable files, means log files. System log files are stored under where. It is like task manager in Windows. So in the log files, it will maintain how many users logged in, at what time they logged in, user login details, and which user is using how much processor, how much RAM, how much hard disk memory, and what are the commands they are executing, everything it maintains. Okay, so where contains system log files. Dev contains devices information. Devices means partitions. In Windows, we call partition. Here we call device. So dev contains devices information. I'm repeating again. / it is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It is similar to C in Windows. It contains subdirectories. So the first subdirectory is root. Root is the home directory for super user. Home is the home directory for normal user. Boot contains bootable files and kernel up to version 6. Sbin commands super user commands. Bin contains normal user commands. USR contains default applications. It means applications which comes along with operating system. Where contains log files, system log files. Dev contains devices information, means partition information. Hope you are clear. Next one is etc. etc contains configuration files, system configuration files. As we discussed in the last session, Linux works with configuration files, no setup files. So where all the configuration files are stored means under etc. OPT directory contains optional applications, means applications which we install manually. That applications are stored under OPT, third-party tools, which we install manually. They are not compulsory to our computer. Like VMware software you are installing, Cisco Packet Tracer software you are installing, Maya software you are installing, different softwares you are installing in your computer as per your requirement. They are not compulsory to our computer. But if we want, we create, right? So applications which we install manually, that applications are stored under OPT. And next one is media. Media contains external devices information. It contains external devices information like external hard disk, external DVD writers, pen drives. That information is maintained by media. USB devices up to RHEL version 6. USB devices information is maintained by media. And next one is MNT. MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. Means in Linux, with every partition, we give link with a directory. Every partition is linked with one directory. What is this? Why we do this? I will show practically in further sessions. Okay, so in MNT, it maintains which partition is linked with which directory. That information is maintained by MNT. And next one is run. Run contains external devices information from RHEL 7 up to RHEL 6. Media maintains that information from RHEL 7. Run contains external devices information, also kernel. Up to version 6, kernel is stored under boot. From version 7, kernel is stored under run. So, is this clear, everyone? File system hierarchy, directories, and their uses. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, Mother, it's clear. Just a small doubt. So, can we install the optional applications which we wanted as a third party ones under USR instead of OPT?
Yeah, we can install third-party applications.
Okay, it is not mandatory that they have to go to under OPT, right? They can be under USR also, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So everyone are clear these directories, right? Take a screenshot once. And these directories points I'm giving now. So it is already available with me. Just take a screenshot. Hope you are taking screenshots. I'm just changing the slides.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you. Now recommended partitions and their sizes. So these are the recommended partitions in Linux. These are not compulsory partitions. These are recommended partitions in Linux. Then what are the compulsory partitions means? See, in Windows means C is compulsory partition because C is a primary partition, right? They're only operating system installing. So now coming to Linux. So what are the compulsory partitions in Linux means? Forward slash and swap. These two are compulsory partitions in Linux. Why forward slash is compulsory? Because forward slash is a parent directory. So this is compulsory partition in Linux. It contains subdirectories. Okay. Next is swap. So this is also compulsory partition in Linux because it is used to increase the speed of physical memory. What is swap? It is virtual memory. Why it is called virtual memory? Memory means what? Storage. Physical memory, virtual memory. Physical memory means what? Storage devices which we can touch. What are they? RAM, ROM, hard disk, this all are used to store the data. Also, we can touch them. Physically, we can touch them. Okay, physical devices means devices which we can touch. We call as physical device. And swap is a virtual device, virtual memory. Okay, so why it is called virtual memory? It is swap is used to store data, but we cannot touch swap memory. Then how we create this swap means from where we get this swap means so from hard disk we'll take some space and that space will create as virtual memory. How we do that means I will show that while installing the operating system. I will show this. Okay, so what is the use of swap memory means it is used to increase the performance of physical memory means RAM speed. It is used to increase RAM speed. So this is also compulsory partition. This question in interviews also they're asking in few interviews. Okay, what are the compulsory partitions in Linux? Forward slash and swap are the compulsory partitions in Linux. Forward slash is compulsory because it is a parent directory and it contains subdirectories. Okay, and swap is compulsory partition because it is used to increase the performance of RAM. These two are compulsory partitions in Linux. Then, recommended partitions. What are the recommended partitions we have?
Can I ask a doubt, please?
Yes.
Yes, Madhuri.
So we
See,
have recommended partitions slash boot slash USR slash var are the recommended partitions in Linux. And one more thing, those who registered, ask them to add you on group. There is a Instagram group. They will create Instagram group and they will add you. Okay. So those who registered, don't forget, ask them to add in that group. So that from tomorrow onwards, mostly we have the practical sessions. OS installation also in tomorrow's session. So when after completing the session, when you are doing the practicals, if you have any doubts, you can ping me on group also. So ask them to add you on group. Don't forget that they will add you into Telegram group. So you can message me directly there whenever you have any doubts. So recommended partitions are, first is slash boot. Why slash boot? Because it is under slash. That's why slash boot. So this is recommended partition to avoid wastage. Slash boot is recommended to avoid wastage because boot requires 200 to 500 MB space. Okay, so in latest versions means in high versions means 1024 means 1 GB. That's it. The space is used in boot is 200 to 500 MB in all maximum all the versions. Okay, it required this much space only because boot contains only bootable files. Okay, so while installing the operating system, if you create slash boot means will give the space between 200 to 500 MB. So it uses only that space. It will not use any more space. It will not take any space from forward slash. So to avoid wastage, slash boot is recommended to create while installing the operating system. How much space we fix it to slash boot, it uses only that space. It requires only very less space. So that space we are fixing there. And next one, slash home. This is also recommended partition, not compulsory partition. If you don't create, it automatically takes space from slash. No issues. But why it is recommended? Two reasons are there. First one is, in old versions, there is a concept called disk quotas. Disk quotas are used to restrict the users in order to occupy hard disk space. Previously, administrator used to restrict the users, like 10 GB to one user, 50 GB to one user, like that. They used to restrict. So if you want to restrict the users by applying the quotas, while installing the operating system, you should create home directory. Then only it will activate disk quotas in our partitions, in our hard disk. If you don't create slash home while installing the operating system, further if you want to apply quotas, we cannot apply the quotas in our computer. So in which pieces you want to apply these quotas, you want to restrict the users by applying the quotas. In that pieces we used to create slash home separately. Okay, so that is one reason why slash home means first reason. And the second reason is, see, now slash home contains user home directories, right? So it means what? Whenever user logged in and user is creating any files or directories, the data is going to store under home only in their respective directories. Now, see for example, we don't created home directory separately. We give something 20 GB space to forward slash. So using that 20 GB space only, it stores the operating system and other Directories also using the 20 GB space only, which is under with forward slash. Every directory is taking the space from forward slash only. So assume almost 15 GB space is completed. Other directories are occupied that space. Okay, now 5 GB free space is there in under forward slash. Now, as a user, you logged in any data, you logged in into your computer and you are creating any data means. Now, what this home will do, it will take the space from forward slash and it stores in home directory. Now, again, something data again, another user logged in and creating some files or directories. Again, it uses the space of forward slash and it stores the data in home because home is under forward slash. Right. So 5 GB space is completed in forward slash. Now, something data if you are storing, if you are trying to create in home directory means it will give you error, insufficient space because it cannot take any space from forward slash because already space is completed in forward slash. Right. So now you cannot store any data. That is the reason in real time, if our PC is an organization, what administrators will do is they will give separate space to home also, like 500 GB, like that. 1 TB depends. How many users are using that computer depends on that. They will arrange some space to slash home. They'll fix some size. Now, when the user logged in and creating any files or directories, home can store the data in home directory only because there is space. Fixed space is there in home. It can use its own space. Until the 500 GB is completed, users can store the data. But this is recommended only, not compulsory partition, because if you are installing operating system, Linux operating system in your own laptop, so then we log in as super user only, administrator only, and we'll create the files and directories. At that time, we don't use any space from slash home. Slash home is only for normal users. When you are logging as an administrator, if the PC is our own PC, we don't log in as a normal user always. Right. So at that time, slash home space is not required specially. So it is only recommended partition, not compulsory partition. And next one is slash var and slash usr. These two are recommended in server machines. These two are recommended in server. Why slash var is recommended? Slash var contains what? Variable files, system log files. Only in servers they will maintain var directory. They will use the var directory regularly. For what they will use? Administrators will check. For monitoring purpose, they will use var directory. How many users logged in? What commands they are executing? At what time, what command they are executing? What process they are doing? Every information is stored under var. Right. So, for monitoring purpose, they will use var directory and they will give size to var separately also. Because if there is no space in forward slash, var cannot store any log files. But log files are very important for troubleshooting purpose and for the process purpose. So what administrators will do is they will create var separately and they will give the size, some space they will give. Like 100 GB, 200 GB, 400 GB, that is depends on number of users you have in your organization. So based on that, will give the size to var. So it is recommended in server machine in order to maintain log files. And next one is slash USR. This is also recommended in server machines only. Slash USR also recommended in server machines so that whenever this server is running, they will run all the applications. More than 1000 default applications they will run. They will on all the default applications 24/7 because they don't know which user required which service, which application they require. So they will run all the applications. So in order to run all the applications without any interruption, they will give some space they will give separately to USR to run all the applications. Okay, so these are the compulsory partitions and recommended partitions in Linux. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, yes, Madhuri.
How to create these partitions means while installing the operating system, I will show that. How to create these partitions. Is there anyone who registered already?
Am I audible, Madhuri?
Yes, audible.
Yeah, yeah. I registered, Madhuri. I paid yesterday.
If you registered means Vihari ask them to add in the group, Telegram group.
I told yesterday they added me in one group. I have to check what that is.
They added or adding.
They they sent me a link, so I joined myself.
You join. One moment, I'll check it. Um, is that group like DurgaSoft updates? Did you add it in that group?
I'll check one second.
Yeah, I'll check it once.
Ah, yes, that's what it says.
DurgaSoft updates, right?
Yeah, DURGASOFT update
No, no,
and
no, not in that group.
okay.
As they will create separate group, I'll inform them to add you in that group. They will send you that link.
Okay, because
In
in this I
DurgaSoft update.
mostly see ads only, like the course information and all of that. Nothing about.
No, not that one, not that one. Um,
Okay,
separate group for us, for our batch. I'll ask
fine.
them to send you the link. They'll send you the
Okay,
link.
okay.
This is only for updates, DurgaSoft updates.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering yesterday. When I asked that lady to add me in the group, she sent me this link, and it has whole lot of information about all other courses other than ours.
Yes. No, no, not in that.
Okay,
Today they will send you the link. I'll
sure, sure,
remind them
no problem.
so that you can ping me there. Not whenever you have doubts.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So this is about file system hierarchy of Linux and recommended partitions in Linux. Okay, so and next topic is OS installation, how to install the operating system. OS installation I will show in tomorrow's session because this time is not sufficient to complete. So tomorrow also how to install the operating system. Once operating system installed, next onwards all the practicals will start. From tomorrow we are starting the practicals also. Okay, so this is for today's session. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. And remember everyone, any doubts you have, you can ask me in the class. When I'm explaining, if you have doubt, you can stop me, you can ask me doubts. If you don't want to ask the questions, you can message also. You have chat box, right? There also you can message me. I will respond. Okay. And as I already told, um, group they will send the link, Telegram group, you can ping me there also whenever you are doing any practical. This is 1 hour session, as you know that I will explain and I will show you practically also every concept. But when you are doing the practicals after finishing the class or before theory or after theory, whenever you are doing any practical doubts, if you have, or when you are referring the notes what we discussed, if you have any doubts, you can ping me on the Telegram group. I will respond. If I respond late also, definitely I'll respond. Okay. And after completion of this course, you can apply up to 3 years, minimum 3 years of experience you can apply. But if you have proper certificates, experience certificates, if you have, you can go up to 3 years. See, you can go up to 4.5 or 5 years, but that is risky. Up to 3 years you can apply. For sure, after completion of this course, you can apply up to 3 years experience. Up to 5 years candidates also, whatever the concepts are covering, I will cover here, but that is not referable for you. Up to 3 years you can apply after completion of this course. Okay, and but to remember, there should be proper certificate, experience certificates, everything with you. Then only you can apply like that. And any more doubts you can ask me.
Not as of now, Nagin. So coming to the practicals, do we need VMware Horizon software or something like
Yes, yes,
VMware
VMware
server or something?
software is required. Up to Windows 10,
Uh-huh.
install VMware 15.
I have to get those things ready because
Windows 10.
I
In
didn't get
Windows
time to
11,
do that.
either you can install virtual machine 15, sorry, 16 or 17.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Windows 10 means VM 15.
Yeah.
Windows 11 operating system, if you are using, means install VMware either 16 or 17. Try to install 16 only in Windows 11 operating system. Okay. I'll ask them to add in the group. I will send the link to group if you require. Windows VMware link and OS link, bootable link also to download the OS bootable file. That link also I'll post on the group.
Sure, sure.
So that's it. This is for today's session. Am I going fast? Is it
No,
okay
no,
with
no,
my flow, everyone?
not at all. You are very much clear with your explanation part. You are going the exact pace what I need as a personal. I feel.
Thank you so much. My students means should be perfect in my classes because Linux is not at all difficult. It's very interesting concept. Everyone will think Linux means this is difficult, comments everything, but it is very easy. So I want to make sure that Linux is easy to everyone.
Just out of the context, so Madhuri, so what if this batch ends up with only me? So will you be
Can you
continuing or will you
repeat the
put me in a
question?
separate?
Bihar, your voice is not clear. Can you
Sorry,
repeat again? A bit for high.
am I audible now? Hello,
Can you ask me?
am I
You
audible now?
again? A bit
Am I audible, ma'am?
loud. Yeah, yes, yes, now audible.
Yeah. See, like out of the context, what if I end up as the only student of this batch? So will you continue or will you be putting me in some other batch?
Vihari, once you type that question, can you please type the question?
Okay, I think I'll just ping it there. Wait, give me a moment.
Okay, okay. Like disturbance is coming in your voice. Done. So this is for today's session. We'll meet tomorrow at 7 a.m. Thank you for the session. And Vihari, I informed them to add you in the group. And those who registered already, uh, they will send the link, group link. Thank you for the session. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you, Vihari. We'll meet tomorrow.